Aloha, beautiful. I think you can hear me. The recording is on. Hello, everybody in the space. Welcome, welcome to our fourth masterclass, Breathwork. So, first of all, as you noticed, I have something on my face. I think it's called a ringworm, which is like a soft, mellow skin fungus, and it can come from touching animals, like a bacteria or something. And done my research, and I want you to know that it looks worse than it feels. I don't feel it, and it's in treatment, so I'm like treating that stuff naturally. Did it cross my mind to show up on camera with something like this on my face? Obviously, it did. But still, I'm not here to just expose my pretty face to you. I'm here to teach you something really valuable that you can take out of this class, take into the rest of your life, and it shall have a sustainable impact on every single action that you take in the future from this moment on. Because today, we are going to talk about your breathing. And I don't know if you've noticed or not, but we are all breathing a lot. It's something that we do automatically to live, obviously, but there is a lot more to it. Okay. And in today's masterclass, I want to give you a deep dive and an introduction to the art of breath work. Now, what expects you if you stick through this whole masterclass? First of all, I want you to learn about my personal story with breathwork. It's very unrelated to breathing. It's actually something that has to do with a breakup, and I'm happy to share that with you. And then after that, I want to introduce you to the nervous system. We all have a nervous system, and there's some things about our nervous system that you just need to know, which obviously are related to our breath. Now, as a third part, I want you to understand your breath as a communication tool from your mind to your nervous system and what that exactly means. How can we use our breath to change our state of nervous system and to change with that our complete state of feeling and being? And then after that, towards the end, the last segment in this masterclass is I'll be letting you experience a 12-minute breathwork practice. I've been practicing and teaching this breathwork practice for 2 years now already. And usually I do it live, but I've recently created a recorded version that I'm going to let you walk through and experience. It's only 12 minutes and it's an audio file that incorporates or includes my voice and music. And at the end, I'll also be happy to provide you with that exact audio file so you can take that with you, download it to your phone, and practice it anytime and anywhere you need. It is a breathwork practice that helps you feel more balanced in your body and in your mind. Okay. So at the end of the masterclass, if somebody shows up live, up until this moment, nobody has tuned into the Google Meet room. That's okay. That can happen. If somebody shows up live, I'd be happy to open the space for a Q&A, a question and answer. So that's what there is to expect for you in this masterclass. Before I'm diving into the content of breathwork, I want to take a look and reflect at what we've learned so far. Okay. So you have walked through 3 masterclasses already. You've walked through the masterclass Elevated Activism. You've experienced the meditation masterclass. And yesterday, in my time zone, yesterday, you experienced the anti-procrastination or overcome procrastination masterclass. Now, obviously, I want to have some feedback. I want to know if you like it. What about it stuck with you? What about it do you feel like you could take out of it and into the rest of your life? So please leave that down in the comment section on my website in this login area. It's similar to YouTube. You have a comment section down beneath the video. So leave in the comments what it is that you took away from the previous masterclasses so far, right? Now, since yesterday's masterclass was about overcoming procrastination, I want to run you through some numbers real quick, okay? So before I launched this free 3-day event, which includes 6 high-quality masterclasses, and with high quality, I mean these are teachings that I'm also teaching my coaching clients, which pay me for my services. At this moment in time, my services are quite high priced, okay? So I need you to understand that if you signed up to this 3-day event and you're watching the recording right now, I hope you do, you aren't procrastinating. If you signed up to it though, same like all those, how many numbers? We have 52 people that officially signed up to this event by this moment in time, which means 52 of you have put in your names and emails to receive the invites to this exact Google Meet rooms. And currently nobody showed up. So previously, when I started coaching, I thought this has to do with me. I thought that this is like I'm not good enough, or my coaching is not good enough, my teachings aren't valuable enough. But I've come to realize that that's just not the case, because I now have a fixed set of growing clientele that is receiving my teachings and growing and thriving in their life. Okay. So what I realized is, and what I want you to understand is, if you make it to this masterclass, good on you. Thank you for doing so. If you've been procrastinating for all this time, the previous masterclass will help you to not do that. And I also need you to understand that if you're signing up to something like this, it is a question of, do you give yourself permission to receive? Do you give yourself permission to actually receive these teachings, these insights, these masterclasses? Now, that's something really funny, because a lot of us don't think that we are denying us from receiving. But if we taken the time to read an instruction, to read an invitation, the ones that I've sent out to you, some of you personally, some of you saw it on Facebook. If you read that invite and if you sign up, but you decide to not show up for whatever reason, you also decide to not receive. And I want to point that out for you, because I think you are here to receive. You are here on this planet to receive many things. And if this masterclass is one of them, bless the shit out of you. Really, really. Good for you to making it into the recording. So let's dive into our breathwork masterclass today. This is really exciting. And here's why. My story with breathwork. About 3 years ago, I went through a extremely big breakup. I was in a relationship with an Indonesian man for 2.5 years of my life, a little bit more than that, actually. And I was extremely in love with that man. We had a very strong, intimate, full of chemistry bond. Obviously, there were a lot of patterns that I discovered, a lot of toxicity that I discovered later on. And that made me come to the conclusion that I needed space and eventually break up out of this relationship. Now, the first time I got introduced to breathwork was when I was in this exact breakup process. So I was in an extremely vulnerable state. I was very emotional. I was feeling a lot of sadness, a lot of emotional pain, and I was crying on an hourly basis. Like almost I was just crying for, let's say, a whole month, almost only crying, processing, being sad, being angry, trying to let go, practicing letting go. And that moment in time was the moment when breath work found its way into my life. And it found its way into my life through two different channels. That's four, two, two different channels. First channel was I visited a de-armoring retreat in North Bali. Now, de-armoring is a type of body work where you're working hands-on, one-on-one with another person, and you are putting pressure onto very specific points we learned in our body, which are underneath our muscle and our fascia system. Fascia is like a net, a spider web that holds all of your muscles together. Just to explain it shortly, it's all over your body. Maybe you've heard of it, fascia. And you access these deeper parts where trauma storage in your body is located. And with this de-armoring retreat, I learned this technique on how to release that trauma. Also, a part of that retreat was breath work. So we also had breathwork sessions in that retreat, and there was 1 2 hour and a 2 hour breathwork immersion in that retreat. And that just broke me open. It broke me open. I've never felt like that in my whole life. I never had these sensations in my body simply coming from breathing, simply coming from breathing. And that's where I realized, holy motherfucking shit, this is something that the whole world needs to know. And I need to know more about it too. So when I came out of that retreat and I was like initiating and moving through this whole letting go process of that past relationship, which was extremely helpful. This retreat was like, it was an investment that I made. It wasn't cheap. And it was so worth it. 8 days in North Bali, immersed in a small group of people doing this deep inner trauma release work. After that, I came back to the down south part of Bali, which is where I live at this day still, another location as back then. But I went on the hunt. I went searching for people that were breathwork teachers, and I started participating in their breathwork classes. And I realized that there is such a deep wisdom in understanding my breathing better and using it for emotional process, for creating inner balance, for feeling aligned in my body, or even for activating myself when I do physical activity, or calming myself down when I want to go to bed at night, or have a greater meditation practice. So I understood that breath work, the practice of breath work, in application in my daily life can benefit me in every single area. And as we're talking here about veganism and activism as well, breathing in a moment when you are in a conversation, in a debate, in something that could get heated or uncomfortable, your breath is the direct tool for you to come back to yourself and stay calm, stay present in that moment. In Masterclass number one, we talked about being present with the opposite, right? Really hearing what they have to say so that we can form a response or a question out of that and hit home, speak to their hearts. And our breath, especially when we know about breath work, we can apply that in these moments as well. And it gifts us with so much more presence, which means we can have more impact because we're present there. We can shift things in that moment quicker and faster. No? So this is a little bit of my story with breathwork, okay? There's, of course, much more to it. There's been moments where I yelled and screamed the houses down in these breathwork classes. People remember me up until this day for these moments. And we're like, oh, you're the one that cried the house down that time. And I was like, yep, that was me. That was me. Ever since that moment, I made a commitment and I said, I want to deepen my wisdom about breath work and I want to like learn from different people. I've searched for some mentors. I found some mentors and I learned from them. And I also made it a daily practice. So for over 2.5 years now, I've been having a daily integrated breathwork practice in my daily life. Would I not do breath work? Gosh, I don't know where I would be. It's really been like, I couldn't call it a lifesaver, but I could call it a necessity to elevate, a necessity to become a greater version, really. So that's enough about my story. If you want to know more, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to share more about my personal journey with breathwork. As I've started integrating breathwork into my coaching practice, and I started working with my clients on their breathing pattern, their breath behavior, and given them the insights and the tools how to breathe themselves into another state of mind, a better state of mind, let's say. I've also had to obviously deepen my wisdom around it and understand what is happening on a scientific perspective, what is happening on a biological level in our bodies when we apply breath work, when we breathe better and different. So, what I want to introduce you to today is the 3 states of our nervous system. Our nervous system, you may have heard about the nervous system. The nervous system is like the operating center of your body. It's like that system that connects everything and anything in your body, all the cells. So it connects your brain to your heart, to your organs, to all of your body parts. It's basically what makes your body function as a whole thing. Now, our nervous system can be in 3 different states, okay? So state number 1 is the attacked nervous system. Take notes, this is important. The attacked nervous system. Now, an attacked nervous system shows itself in fight, flight, or freeze. If your nervous system is completely under attack, you're in a very stressed mode. Maybe you're getting physically attacked. Maybe you're getting mentally abused. You go into an attacked nervous system state, which can show as I'm going to attack back. I'm going to fight back. Oh, this person pissed me off, throwing a punch. I'm going to like punch that bitch back. Or it can go into freeze mode, which we often see animals do. When you have a deer on the street and you almost hit the deer, you just make it to stop in front of the deer, in front of the animal, it freezes. Because that's the automatic response of an attacked nervous system. Now, you also have one that's called flight. We see animals do that a lot. Run for life. Just run away as fast as we can. So these are the three automated responses when our nervous system is in an attacked state. Okay. So the second state, I'll tell you how breath work comes in a minute. The second state of our nervous system is the regulated state. It's when our nervous system is well nourished and regulated. It means we are feeling good in our bodies, we are feeling active, we are feeling present, and we are feeling, let's call it, balanced. We're feeling balanced. That's when your nervous system is in a regulated state, right? Now, the third state is relaxed. This is when you're going into a meditative state of being, or you're going to sleep and you're having a good night's rest. This is when your nervous system is in a relaxed state, meaning it's not shut down, but it's just kind of like sleepy. It's in a sleepy state, okay? So these are the three states of your nervous system. Now, obviously, when we are in an attacked state of nervous system, which a lot of us are in and we don't even notice, it's when we're feeling anger, it's when we're feeling stressed, it's when we're feeling anxious, it's when we're feeling overwhelmed. This is when our nervous system is usually in an attacked state, okay? And it, as I said before, an attacked nervous system tends to react in those three ways: fight, flight, or freeze. Okay. So the fight can show up in your thoughts. You're having these fight thoughts. You're having, oh, this person is messing with me, I'm going to mess back. Or you're having these dark thoughts of like, I'm consistently overwhelmed. I don't know what to do. Freeze, loss of words, freeze, right? So your nervous system under attack doesn't mean that you're under physical attack and a gun is pointed towards your face. It can mean that you're just in a stressed, in an anxious, in an overwhelmed state of mind. And that puts your nervous system under attack. And as I said before, your nervous system is it's like the operating system. It connects everything in your body. So if your nervous system is under attack, not only your mind and your thoughts are going to be affected, your organs are going to be affected. Every part of your body is going to be affected by it, putting you in a state where you feel holistically not okay. Now, how can the breath help with that? The cool thing about the breath is it's like a communicator. Breathing is like a language, okay? So breathing is like a language that communicates from all of your organs to all of your organs, because your breath directly interacts with your whole nervous system. So the way you breathe engages directly with your nervous system, which means it has the capacity to change the way you think and feel in every part of your body. Yeah, that's right. Your breath has the capacity to change the way you think and feel in every part of your body. Now, let me lay that out a little bit more in detail. Breathing, and especially breath work, is a inwards out approach. So we're having practices that start with the mind, okay? Let's say you're meditating and you're starting with the mind and you're attempting to calm your mind and your body down via your mind. Now, this is also a practice which we learned about in the meditation masterclass. It's also practice. And breath work is another approach. It doesn't come from the mind. It actually comes from your lungs. It comes from your lungs and it comes from the oxygen and the air you fuel your body with, which directly goes into your blood cells and transports itself throughout your body. Okay. So we have two options. We can breathe through our nose and through our mouth. Those actually do two different things to our body. And then we have multiple options when it comes to breath speed and breath patterns. We have the option to exhale longer than we inhale, or to inhale longer than we exhale. We have the option to hold our breath sometimes, and we have the option to not and breathe in an upspeed pace. All of these different breathing patterns have different functions as they communicate from the inside out. This is exactly why a lot of people that try meditation and figure it doesn't work for them, and when they try breath work, they're like, oh my God, this is so much easier. Literally, almost all of my clients are like, I'm struggling to meditate, but breath work, I get it. It's easy. And the thing why it's easy is because you're not working with your mind, and your mind is a complex tool. Your breath isn't. Your breath is a little bit simpler. It's like the remote control for your breath is like this. You have like a couple of fixed buttons. You see this? It's my AC control. And the remote control for your mind is a whole smartphone with everything and anything on it, 1,000 apps and more, right? So when you operate via your breathing, you can achieve the same or similar effects than when you operate from a mind perspective. And they support each other. So we can use breath work and breathing patterns to get our nervous system in a regulated or relaxed state, which automatically sets ourselves up for better meditation practice. Here you go. That's why they go hand in hand, right? Now, on the other end, we can use breath work for more physical exercise. We can use breath work to maintain a physical endurance. We can use breath work to calm ourselves down whilst our heart rate is really high up because we're performing on a high level in a physical perspective. So breath work gives us the possibility to be applied in any kind of area and situation in our lives, and then to regulate and interact with our nervous system, to bring it into a state where it serves us to our fullest and greatest version. Let me know in the comments if you're following, if all of this makes sense. Let me sum up so far. We have 3 states of our nervous system. Our nervous system is a system that connects anything and everything in our body. It's like the operating system of our body. It connects our organs to our mind, to our heart, to everything, every cell of our body. We have 3 states. We have the attacked state, which shows up in fight, flight, or freeze. Fight, flight, or freeze doesn't mean you run, literally freeze, or literally fight back. It can mean that everything is in the mind. Second state of your nervous system is the regulated state. That's the ideal state when you're feeling active throughout the day, when you're feeling engaged, when you're feeling present and balanced in the moment, is when your nervous system is regulated. Then we have the relaxed state, which is when you're going to sleep, when you're going to bed, when you're going to rest, or you're entering a deeper meditation practice. These are the 3 states of your nervous system. That's what we learned so far. Now, I already said that breath is the direct communicator. The breath is the direct communicator from you, your mind, your organs to your nervous system. And now I want to invite you to experience this with me, okay? So the way we're going to do that, because nobody is live in our room now, I'm not going to guide you through it live, but I'm going to link down in the description of this video, down here, I'm going to link a 12-minute inner balance breathwork practice that I've recorded and created for you. I'm going to link it down there. And what I invite you to do is to keep your earphones in, put them in, to lay yourself down on your bed or a yoga mat or a mattress, anything that's comfortable. Maybe put a pillow underneath your head, maybe put a pillow underneath your knees so that your lower back isn't arched but is connected to the surface you're laying on. And then spread your arms wide, just lay there and allow these 12 minutes to simply be a unique experience for you. Just let yourself follow through this breathwork practice. Okay, it's a very simple practice. The first couple of minutes of the audio file, you are just connecting with your breath. You're just noticing and you're deepening your breath, which also means you're relaxing your nervous system. Okay, you're just getting to connect with what's up in there. And then the second part of this breathwork practice is called box breath. The box breath is a simple pattern, which you could kind of picture it like you're breathing along the edges of a box. So if you're breathing in, you're breathing yourself up at the edge of the box, and then you're holding your breath at the top of the box, and then you're exhaling again, going down on the box, and you're holding your breath again. That's why this practice is called box breath. Inside of the audio file, I am guiding you through it 100%. So I will tell you when to inhale, I will tell you when to hold your breath, I'll tell you when to exhale, and I'll tell you when to hold your breath again. And we're just going through this cycle. And you shall feel a deep inner shift happening in your body, okay? This is a breathwork practice that comes for inner balance and inner alignment. There's other breathwork practices that I teach, but that aren't a part of this masterclass. There's breathwork practices for activation. There's breathwork practices for engagement, for sparkly, feeling fresh in the morning. There's breathwork practice for releasing anxiety and stress. And all of those I teach inside of my Become Your Medicine program, which I've already mentioned in previous masterclasses, but I'm happy to share more with you about that in a minute as well. One disclaimer before you get into this breathwork practice. If you have asthma or if you're currently suffering from any kind of issues with your lung and neck, I recommend you to be your own doctor for a minute and to be soft and mindful with the breath work. I'm consciously choosing to let you experience this kind of breath work because it is a humble type of breath work. There's a breath work practice that I also teach, which is quite engaged and quite active, which I don't recommend you to do if you have any kind of struggles with your lungs or neck, right? Get some medical professional to teach you or to tell you about this, because I'm not a medical professional and I don't feel qualified to tell you to do breath work in case you have any condition here. In case your throat and your lungs are pretty fine, if you're a smoker, it doesn't matter. The dog wants to come in. Give me a second. And then he didn't. Anyway, so that's the little disclaimer. This breathwork practice I link down below, you can do, you can practice it. Just be soft with yourself. If it doesn't feel good, don't do it. I always say you are your own doctor. You know your body best. So if it doesn't feel good, don't do it. Okay? If it doesn't feel good. If it feels okay, let me know in the comments. And if you want to know more about breathwork, you're warmly welcome to check out my Become Your Medicine program. That's the program that I've created for all of you vegans and activists out there, where we dive deeper into the practices that I introduce in this 3-day event. And you're getting access to pre-recorded modules with every single thing you need to know about meditation, about breath work, about anti-procrastination, about mindfulness, about elevated activism, about anything basically that helps you live into your greatest version. Manifestation is a topic in there. Law of attraction comes up. All of that is a part of this program. And it's a community program, which means if you sign up, you have lifelong access to weekly live group calls in which we'll meet and we'll deepen our practices inside of a Google Meet room like this one. You'll have access to a community Facebook group, not the one that you're probably in right now. The Academy that I'm hosting is a free Facebook group, but the Facebook group of the program is another one. It's a more insightful and more closer circle group. So you're accessing all of that for a lifetime, and you're basically gifting yourself with a infinite momentum and a beautiful group of vegans and activists that are thriving as individuals, right? So if you want more about that program, I'll also link to the program details down below. Go and check it out. And that was it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. Enjoy the breathwork practice I linked below for you. And in our next masterclass, which is always the most fun for everybody, it's about ecstatic dance. So in order to prepare yourself for that, get something onto your body that's comfortable, maybe some yoga wear or some workout wear, something that you can move your body in. Reserve about 1.5 to 2 hours of your time, because that's about the time that we are going to move to, and get yourself excited, because it is going to be really fucking cool. I'll see you in there. Much love your way. And thanks for tuning in. Mwah.